At least the thrust washer is good. New key. Old one was bad. Really bad. And the bolt in the camshaft was loose. Open heart surgery, you might say. Well, hi guys. 1850 has been put back together. The new, well, the rebuilt injector pump is in there in the bag, ready to go on. Only bad thing is, Harry is on vacation this week. It's going to sit here a little while longer, apparently. So, it is what it is. But the pump is fixed, completely rebuilt. There is a new bearing in below here. Cam, gear, keyway or key, and a bolt have been Loctited into place and tightened up. Thrust washer here was in really good shape. So is this drive. The brass gear, worm gear, is a little pitted up, which is really weird, but it is what it is at this point. So as soon as Harry gets back off vacation, he can put the injector pump on, time it, and it'll be good to go. Oh, yeah. You would think, and put the gear on, take the gear off and do all that, that this shaft would come out. Nope. Gotta take his housing off to do it. So, well, oh. Maybe you can see how worn that key is both ways. I don't know. And this bearing that was under there, there's a lip cut into this bearing race, like it's locked and spun, and the outside of the race also looks like it's spun in that housing. This came out real easy, he said. New one, had to take a hammer and tap it in. So I know it's right. He knows it's right. So, at any rate, guys, as soon as Harry gets back off vacation, she'll be back to running. So, today's Monday the 13th of October. I think today's the 13th. Monday, I know that. Or September. Losing my mind. At any rate, we'll see you next time, guys. Well, hi, guys. This is a... Well, I'm going to let you guess. What is it? What is it for? It is a very specific tool needed to do a job with. And you can see it there. It has all kinds of increment markings. 0 to 350. This is movable. This moves up and down. And it also has a blind shaft. And it only goes in one way. What's it for? There might be a few of you out there that might actually know what this is. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments. I think you'll be rather interested. See you here in a bit. Well, hi guys. It's Sunday afternoon, about 5 o'clock. I'm calling it a day. I've got a lot done. Got this bracket taken off this combine, cleaned up, took the pulley that was on it apart, got the bearing out. It's a 203 PP Fabner bearing, little narrow guy. Let's see if I can get one of them, because nobody has a pulley that size. It's odd size. Naturally, right? Figured out what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to put it on and run it. And I'll be checking this oil level daily. Or a couple of times a day if I have to. The 4400. I have spent a good part of today working on the radiator. Took the fan off so I could blow it out easier. And to say I've got a bloody mess, just kind of give you an idea of the crap I've blown out of that radiator. Again, is unreal. But I've got it pretty well cleaned up. You can see it there. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a whole lot cleaner than it was. I am going to go ahead and buy all new belts for this. That'll be the outer belt that runs the fan, the one that runs off the engine that runs the fan, alternator belt, and the governor belt. They're just bad. So I'm going to change them. I said in a comment yesterday, I've been rather busy last couple of days. We'll get to that in a minute. But guess who found her way home? Maudie found her way home. She was down at McHenry's for a month. We have a brandy spanking new, well, I shouldn't say brand new, a completely rebuilt injector pump. And it's put on. We have all new injectors. Well, injector tips. I'll put it that way. All the hoses and belts are changed. Fuel filters, all that lovely stuff. And now has a new lift pump. The old one was pumping. It wasn't pumping exactly right, and when we took it apart, under here there's a screen, and that screen was just packed. So I put a new pump on it. She runs good, and we had kind of a time getting it timed correctly, and I'm not 100% sure it's right. I don't want to say it's got a miss, but it's something not quite right. And I'm beginning to believe it's a stuck injector on number 1 because I've got oil right in here and on this manifold bolt. And I'm starting to see it in the exhaust, where when I took it down there, the inside of the exhaust pipe was light gray. It was, it stopped slobbering. So I'm almost thinking number 1's got a stuck injector, or it's, you know what I mean. That remains to be seen. Harry said take it home, work it a little bit, run it, and we'll kind of go from there. Yeah, there's a long story behind this, but let's just say that this thing's been timed 4 times now, and hash marks line up. Where we're getting in trouble, Harry's last bulletin from White on the 354 says to put it at 28 degrees before top dead center. Line these up, line the hash mark on the pump to the end of the snap ring. Literally what it says in a service bulletin. So when we pulled it off, when we put it back on, that's the way we put it back on. Well, guess what? Pump was not timed that way. So we had to get the little gadget, which you saw, to pull the 3 bolts out of here, put the engine on top dead center, take the 3 bolts in the gear out. You put that tool down in here and turn this until the hash mark here is right between the fork of a gauge. And then this part is set. You put the bolts in, tighten them up, then you turn the pump. It's a blind shaft. It only goes in one way, and theoretically when you put it on, this should line up, and it did. We can't quite agree what might be going on. I still think the pump need to be possibly adjusted a little, but it's kind of in that you just don't know. Starting wise, starts really easy. I mean, super easy. Oh, get up here. You can kind of hear it's not exactly right. And it's kind of, I'm wondering about the valves right now, because the key in the gear and the bolt in the gear, the bolt was loose, which let the gear kind of start working like this, and it eat the key up side to side. So I'm just wondering if because of that, the valves might be out now. I just don't know yet. Kind of many things to consider on it, but she's home. It was $825 to rebuild that pump with a new head and new rotor. So she's home, she's running. We just got to get the little bugs worked out of it. I really don't want to pull the valve cover, but I may have to. And number one, may get the injector pulled and checked. Okay, enough on that. The wagon. I bought this about a year ago. The front tires for this are on Jacob's John Deere picker. I swiped them off of here and put these knife tires on it, hold it up. Had towed it home and didn't have any problem with it. It sat for 2 or 3 months right over there, and you could not move the steering. This side takes grease good. This side, the top took grease good, but the bottom didn't. So I heated on a little bit, got some grease in it, and it does move. It's just tight right now. So it's just going to have to get used. What I got to do to it is patch this. Evidently they left a pile of soybeans in this corner and they rotted. Can't do much about it. But for the price I give for it, with, you know, the 10-120s on it, it was cheap. I got sheet of metal off of a gravity bed that I'm going to cut so I can weld to here, or I may bring it around, I don't know yet, and come to about here, up, and bring it up and weld it on, or bring it around. These sideboards are going to come off. I didn't know it when I bought it. The corners, now if you can see it or not, that's a license plate. Been around on the inside. So those are pretty much junk. But I just so happen to have a set sitting right there that will go on and bolt right up to it. So those will go on this. Like I say, I've been busy. The combine, belt wise, is all done. Everything's put on, everything's pretty much done except for the governor and the belts on the engine. I'm going to go ahead and replace them all. Figured I'm into it, might as well do it. Dad wants me to pull this and this all apart to put this nose on here, and I'm not going to do that, because more than likely these bolts right here will break. That's what was wrong with this one. Right there. One of the bolts was broke. It leaked oil right here out. That's what all this shiny, silvery looking stuff is. It's where the inside got ground by this weight, and I can't use this now because that weight is off of these, because these are all matched, and I can't use it now. And the odds of finding a company or anybody that has parts for these is slim and none. So this one will work. It may leak right here where this crack is. You can see it right there at the edge of my fingertip, and the front seal seeps, so I'll just have to keep an eye on it. But Marty is back home, the 1850. The combine, for the most part, you might as well say it's all done now. So, like I say, I've been busy. There's a lot of things been going on, and well, we'll just leave it at that. At any rate, guys, we'll see you next time, and as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. I never know what I'm going to get into from one day to the next, but I'm getting there. So we'll see you next time, guys.